Hi everyone, welcome to the Small Business Interview. Today I have with me Scott on the phone, owner of two coffee businesses, Form and Function, and the District Coffee. Thanks, Scott, for joining us today.
Yeah, you bet.
So why don't you tell us the story behind these two businesses and how they function together and how did it all start?
Yeah. So District Coffee House is kind of where it all began for us. We actually started here in 2011. My wife was running it for a nonprofit here in town, and just kind of connected with it. Really loved it. She's an amazing business leader, and took it from kind of a struggling, kind of fledgling business to this kind of really successful thing. And then we stepped down when our daughter was born in 2015, and just kind of really missed the coffee scene. And so we actually started Form and Function after that, just kind of as a desire to get back into it, and did a bunch of stuff with Form. It actually started as a coffee cart at a farmer's market here in town. And kind of from that, we did the brick and mortar, and it's just kind of been super crazy since then. And then about 7 months after we opened Form and Function, the original owners of the district kind of approached us and asked us if we'd be interested in purchasing it from them. And so for whatever reason, we did that. And we got that and took over ownership in July of 2018, just like 7 months after we opened Form and Function. And so we've had both of them. Form and Function is super coffee centric. We're just kind of pin ourselves as like a really progressive third wave shop that really values the sustainability aspect of coffee, and we just really champion the craft of what we do there. And then we brought that same kind of mentality over to the district. And so all the coffee that we roast in-house for Form, we also use over at District. So same equipment, same machines, same coffee, same level of training. Just kind of two different aesthetics and two different ways to engage with coffee. District is definitely more of a community hub. We have a lot more variety on our menu. A little bit of something for everybody. And Form and Function is a little more specific, a little more specialty. It just has a pretty limited menu, and everything they do there is done super well. And we also have a whole bean operation. We roast our own stuff that we sell in grocery stores, farmers markets, and to other cafes. And we also sell some equipment and stuff to them. We do the home brew supply at both shops now. So it's kind of turned into this really awesome kind of sister store partnership thing where we're roasting and sharing ideas, and are able to kind of take this little idea that we had for Form and Function and kind of just like bring it to this level that we didn't really expect to be doing. But here we are with like 20 employees and this product that we're super proud of. And yeah, it's actually just a lot of fun.
Cool, yeah, it is kind of a nice little system you have going on with the roastery and the coffee shop, and you have a fresh baked pastries too every day.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool little coffee community. How has it been working through this year? I know it's been a very interesting year with shelter in place.
Yeah, it's obviously been a pretty unique moment. We definitely did not come out of this thing unscathed. I mean, we were just looking at the numbers a little bit ago. I think we dropped something like 80%, and we ended up closing District Coffee House. I think we did about 6 weeks. The clientele there wasn't quite as open to the curbside and some online ordering stuff, and we tried that for a minute. Really wasn't very sustainable, so we ended up just closing over there completely. Form and Function with its online presence and roasting, and the clientele there was a little more adept at kind of shifting to that online platform, so we were able to at least stay open. I just worked the counter by myself for like 4 weeks or so, and yeah, we just kind of pared everything back and kind of scaled down to our smallest form, and it was just my wife and I, and we had a couple of guys helping us out still. But yeah, it was pretty intense there for a moment. Just kind of hung on as long as we could, and then we were able to kind of start bringing everybody back. And we did some construction projects and did a lot of painting. We had people over to our house just trying to figure out how to keep our crew employed. Like, we just love our employees so much, and it was just trying to do everything we could to keep getting them a little bit of money where we could. And so we had projects at our house. We did stuff at the shops and just kind of tried to keep moving forward one step at a time. And eventually we were able to kind of fully open back up, and we built this mobile, like a coffee truck from our cart. So trying to get that, if the people weren't comfortable coming into the shops, we could kind of take the coffee to where the people were. So just trying to do everything we could to stay connected. Like, honestly, we're way less interested in like selling our products and way more interested in just being like connected to our community and our employees. And I mean, it's a nice byproduct that we get to sell stuff, but it was just, so we felt a pretty big burden just to stay connected to the people and try to get them the stuff that they needed and keep our crew as employed as we could possibly keep them. But yeah, it's a pretty unique moment. We're starting to see stuff come back, but yeah, it's been obviously an interesting year.
Well, your hard work definitely pays off since you guys are able to, not completely close to stay afloat. And I can see people really appreciate that, just going through your social media, and just keeping the community together, like you said. Because without everyone else, though, there's literally, there'll be nobody. We kind of need each other. So at the moment, I know we could find your product online, like Form and Function. We could order online, and we can also come to your shops, right, to order coffee. Do you supply to any other places like restaurants, or can we find your coffees in stores or any other small shops?
Yeah, definitely. We have a couple of cafes in Boise here in town, certified cafe and bakery, uses our coffee. A cafe here in town also does, just for some small cafes. We sell at the Boise Co-op in Boise, and also the one in Meridian at the Village, and you can get our whole bean stuff on the shelves there. We're also available at the Market Street locations for Albertsons. So we've got the one on Broadway, and then the other one I think is out kind of west of town there. But yeah, both of those are available for grabbing those. Yeah, definitely our formandfunctioncoffee.com has everything there, and then also districtcoffeehouse.com has, you can buy beans and like specific swag products through that website. And then all the mostly the home brewing supplies and stuff are all through the Form and Function website. And then like our app, and we have an Instagram store now, and Facebook, I think, marketplace store, whatever you would call that. We've got one of those. Yeah, trying to get as many options out there as possible. We're doing curbside, and then we also in Boise are doing a free in-town delivery. So if somebody isn't comfy coming into the shop, we've got an option there to, we've got some guys that will do what we're calling front porch delivery. So they just bring the stuff and set it on your porch, and that's all free in town. So yeah, a few different ways to get the stuff.
Yeah, I'm on your online shop. I'm sharing the screen. And you guys have a lot of really cool coffee equipment and a lot of interesting coffee. So what's your top selling item in terms of like the coffee, I guess?
Yeah, for the whole bean stuff, man, right now we've got one on there that's Columbia Huila. That's a really cool one. It's part of a women-owned and operated cooperative out of Columbia that's doing some really cool things. We try to source all of our coffees. We try to select coffees that have some type of social initiative attached to them. We just want to make sure that each of those coffees is doing a good thing in the area that it comes from. And so that one in particular is a really cool story, in that the lady that kind of pioneered it, her parents were both died when she was young, and she took over the coffee farm, and she's actually just kind of taken over that whole community. And she's building schools and roads and developing jobs. And then she also has become part of this cooperative. I think it's called Ali Mujeres, and it's this big cooperative of women-owned and operated businesses there that are just championing these farms that are all run by women. And it's a super cool organization that we've partnered with through Royal Coffee in Oakland. And so yeah, that's a really cool one. And I think it's a really awesome coffee and really approachable, but it's also a really awesome cause to get behind and be able to support in that way. So that's a really, probably right now, that one's, we shift all the time, but that one right now is probably the one that's moving the quickest for us.
And what about any essential coffee brewing equipment that you'd recommend for people?
You know, it's funny, we've seen a big uptick, obviously, in people making coffee at home. And I think it seems like everybody predominantly has a coffee brewer of some sort. One of the things we try to really encourage is a really good grinder. And the coffee grinder is so much more important than people think it is. We'll kind of buy like a decent coffee pot and a really nice coffee, but then they'll bring a grinder to the table that's, you know, kind of subpar. And the ones that we really look at are burr grinders and conical burrs. So the Baratza line that we carry is a really great product, super consistent grind. A couple of different like versions of that you can get. Fellow has also just released their Ode grinder, which is a kind of a next level homebrew setup for those people that are like looking at taking their homebrew game way up a notch. That Fellow Ode is open for pre-orders right now, which is a super cool grinder. But yeah, the coffee grinder is so important. Getting the consistency and grind size is way more important than people think, and it decreases what's called fines migration, and just gets like a way more consistent cup. So each part of the bean is extracted evenly, kind of across the whole brew bed. So it can get a little nerdy, but I think the grinder is one of those things that even if your coffee pot isn't that great, most of them are heating the water to the right temperature, but and that's a really important thing. But if you're putting it in an automatic Mr. Coffee pot or something like that, be amazed how far a really good grinder will go. Start obviously with great water, start with a great coffee bean, and then the grinder is way up there as far as brew importance. So we've got some on there, but yeah, the grinder is definitely something that's often overlooked, but is super important to the process.
Very cool. I'm showing off all the equipment you guys have and all the different grinders here. And I guess, you know, once people get into it, they can subscribe, right? You got weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly subscriptions.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't know if you're looking at the Fellow Ode grinder on there, but that one is a killer looking grinder too, just if you want to have a statement piece. But yeah, and if they love it, we do subscriptions and we send those out. They can be sent out. You select which one you want, and that's a really awesome way to try lots of different kinds of coffee. We try, unless you recommend the same one, we try to send you a different one each time. Some people do a weekly, some people do it bi-weekly or monthly. You select the frequency you want on there, and then each week we'll send you a different bag, or every couple weeks or month, whatever your frequency is. That's a really awesome way to not have to worry about it. There's always going to be coffee in your inbox, and it's just, or in your mailbox, I guess, probably. But it's a great way to be able to explore a lot of things. You'll get something that maybe you wouldn't have selected off the shelf. Gives you an opportunity to try it and really expand the palette. So that's a really fun way to try different stuff, find out what you really love. And if there's something you just love and you don't ever want to go away from it, you can hit us up on there and say, hey, keep sending me that forever until you run out, and we'll do that too. So that's a really neat way to keep connected and also try a bunch of really fun new things.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Scott, for sharing all this information. I'm going to pull up just some information to share with people. So if you guys want to follow the District Inform and Function, that's where you can get most of the updates. You have an Instagram account and a Facebook account. And definitely check out their website, districtcoffeehouse.com. I'm listing it up above over here. And we have formandfunctioncoffee.com over here. And that's about it. Well, thank you, Scott.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Fox. Appreciate it.
And thanks, everyone, for tuning into the Small Business Interview. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.